I'll never forget the day. It was April 25th, 2014.
January of 2019.
In September of 2018.
It was May 2015.
On June 28th, 2008, our son Caden was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I am Chelsea Riley.
My name is Lauren Lemieux.
Hello, my name is Teresa Battles,
My name is Christina Grimsley,
My name is Jamie.
and I am an ATRT mom.
and I am an ATRT mom.
And going through this journey, we didn't have anybody, to even relate to. And then when we finally realized there was someone else, reaching out to that mom, trying to see their story, having this community now to be able to support other families that are going through this has been very helpful to me.
Everybody's failures, everybody's successes, everybody's losses, like you feel them like your own once you're part of this community. I've cried for people I've never met. I've cheered for people I've never met, but we're all going through it together and we all have each other.
ATRT is an aggressive form of brain cancer that usually affects children under the age of 3. While this condition is known to be rare, we know it is not rare. Several families, one city. This is only a small sample.
Up until 3.5, Caleb was a completely normal little boy. In 24 hours, we went from having a completely normal 3.5-year-old to brain surgery, like literally in 24 hours.
We noticed some subtle changes in Zion. Kashjay, my husband, he's a physician, and so he decided to do a little evaluation of him. When he did that, he felt like this is not good. Before we knew it, we were being told that Zion had an 8x8 centimeter tumor in his right frontal lobe.
When the pathology reports came back, we were called to get the results, and the doctor, she said he has something called atypical teratoid rhabdoid tumor.
We found out that artist had ATRT when she was about 3.5 months old. So she was very, very tiny, still an infant. Most of her story that is heartbreaking, I have made myself forget.
We got the pathology, and we were told this is ATRT, one of the worst brain tumors a child could have. And the words that always stick in my mind are, the prognosis is poor.
They did a full body MRI, and they found his tumor on his lower spine. A couple days later, we found out it was ATRT.
Within 2 hours of arriving at the ER, our son was in surgery. This would be the first surgery of many to save his life. Caden is our youngest son, and at just 11 months old, he was in the fight for his life.
What are the percentages? Like, what are the odds of survival? And she could barely even say it, and she said 10 to 30%. So we called all of our family and our closest friends to our house, and we sat them all down and we told them, this is what's happening, and everybody was just devastated. And my grandma being like, but there's a cure, right? And I was like, no. There's not only no cure, there's not even very many good treatment options.
I remember the catheter going in. I remember the feeding tube, and she was screaming the whole time, trying to get that feeding tube down.
And I'll never forget the day that we had to sign the papers to start chemotherapy. I said I wasn't gonna cry. That was probably the worst day of my life.
Zion was doing so well in his treatment. Just about 6 months later, after being declared NED, he had his tumor come back. And that day was really the worst day of our lives. The hope was just sucked right out like a vacuum. But on July 7, 2016, our boy went to heaven. It's not okay that the kids are running out of options and that Zion didn't have a chance to beat it.
My daughter is artist Pajan Battles, and unfortunately she passed away of ATRT. God had other plans in terms of whether she would stay with us, but the one thing that I am left with at this point, a year and some change later, is that I may live with some pain over this, but she's not in pain.
Meeting others who have gone down this road, the dark path, it's so strengthening to know that you're not the only person who lost your child to ATRT. It really is so helpful to know that you're not alone.
What has given me hope with meeting other families who have experienced the same type of diagnosis and who have lost their child are the ones who have gone on to have more children and successfully have more children that are healthy, and they're able to carry out that child's legacy and see that in their other kids. That's also been a part of this journey as well, to meet other people who have gone through the same thing.
I want someday for another family to hear, your kid has ATRT, but, and they get that, but we have a great protocol that has good outcomes.
The awareness around this must be greater. The research must be more involved, and there's got to be more treatments.
We want to see better outcomes. We want to see better options, more options, less toxic options for these kids so that they can grow up, live long, healthy lives, and not have to be weighed down by so many repercussions.
One of the chemotherapies caused paralysis of his swallowing muscles, so he had to have a G-tube. The tumor plus the radiation caused neuropathy of his bowels. He won't ever be able to have chemotherapy again because one of the chemos caused such severe liver damage that we almost lost him, but he's here. He's 7 years old.
This piece of artwork may seem like nothing, but it's a little piece of artwork that Caleb just did in kindergarten. So Caleb has made it to kindergarten. He's 5 years old now.
Now as we have a 13-year-old little boy that is so full of life, that loves music, but most importantly, he loves the Lord. He has shown us every single day. I have many challenges. Academics are hard for me. Walking is hard for me. But I understand it now. He is God's plan.
We have just heard from several families whose lives have been touched by ATRT, some of whom are still fighting today. Will you join us in our fight against ATRT? Our goal at Hope for ATRT is to draw attention to this disease and raise funds specifically for research for ATRT. Will you join us?